Bears are among nature's most remarkable survivors, equipped with adaptations that allow them to endure the harsh and unforgiving months of winter. While many people assume that bears hibernate because of the cold, the true reason is much more rooted in the rhythms of food availability. As winter approaches and the landscape grows barren, food becomes scarce. It is this lack of sustenance, rather than the chill in the air, that sends bears into their dens for months of extraordinary biological transformation. The onset of hibernation is a process that begins long before the first snow falls. In the weeks leading up to winter, bears enter a phase known as hyperphagia. During this time, their appetite becomes insatiable. Driven by instinct, they consume as many calories as possible, feasting on berries, nuts, fish, and anything else they can find. An adult male bear may consume tens of thousands of calories per day, transforming the abundant food of late summer and autumn into thick layers of fat. This fat is not just insulation against the cold. It is the very fuel that will sustain the bear through the months ahead, when it will not eat, drink, urinate, or defecate. The process of hibernation is not the same for all creatures. Many mammals, such as ground squirrels, enter a true hibernation state where their body temperatures drop nearly to freezing and their metabolic rate plummets to a fraction of its normal pace. Bears, however, have evolved a unique form of hibernation. When a bear settles into its den, the transformation is profound yet measured. The bear's heart rate slows dramatically, dropping from a typical 50 beats per minute to as few as 10. This reduction conserves energy, allowing the bear to survive for months without eating. The bear's body temperature drops as well, but only by about 7 or 8 degrees Celsius, a significant shift, but nowhere near the near-freezing states reached by smaller hibernators. Within the den, something even more astonishing occurs. For pregnant female bears, hibernation is not just a period of survival. It is also a time of birth and new life. Bears typically mate in the spring, but the story of reproduction in bears is marked by a fascinating adaptation called delayed implantation. After mating, the fertilized egg begins to develop, but then enters a state of suspended animation. The embryo does not immediately implant in the mother's uterus. Instead, it waits. Over the summer and autumn, the female bear's body assesses its own condition. If she has accumulated enough fat reserves to survive the winter and support the needs of growing cubs, the embryo will then implant and begin to develop further. If she is not in peak condition, lacking sufficient fat stores, her body will reabsorb the embryo. In this way, bears ensure that they only give birth when the odds of survival are greatest, both for the mother and her offspring. For those females who do progress to giving birth, the event takes place deep within the safety of the den, typically in midwinter. Newborn cubs are tiny, blind, and utterly dependent on their mother. Weighing just a pound or two, they are dwarfed by their massive parent, but the den provides warmth and protection from the elements. The mother bear, even as she remains in a state of hibernation, will nurse her cubs, providing them with rich milk derived from the fat stores she accumulated in the months before. For the mother, this is a balancing act. She must ration her energy not only to keep herself alive, but also to nurture her young until spring arrives. Throughout hibernation, bears undergo another extraordinary feat. They do not eat, drink, urinate, or defecate. Instead, their bodies recycle waste products in a way that seems almost miraculous. The bear's metabolism is adapted to break down fat for energy, but it also reuses nitrogen from urea, a component of urine, to synthesize new proteins. This prevents muscle wasting and allows the bear to maintain strength over the long winter months. Waste that would normally be excreted is instead converted into useful compounds, a process that continues until the bear emerges from its den. The energy demands of hibernation are immense. Even in this slowed state, a bear may burn as many as 4,000 calories per day. Over the course of the winter, a bear can lose between 25 and 40% of its body weight. This is why the pre-hibernation feeding frenzy is so critical. For a large adult male, this can mean entering the den with over 1 million calories stored in the form of fat. an impressive testament to the bear's ability to prepare for months of isolation and inactivity. As the sun rises higher in the sky and spring approaches, the world outside the den begins to thaw. The days grow longer, temperatures rise, and food slowly becomes available again. Inside the den, the bear's metabolic rate shifts. Heartbeat and body temperature rise, signaling the end of hibernation. The bear will soon emerge, lighter in weight, but ready to begin the cycle anew. For mother bears, this is also the time to introduce their cubs to the wider world, where the lessons of survival will begin in earnest. The adaptations that allow bears to hibernate are a marvel of evolution, a delicate interplay of physiology and behavior honed over countless generations. It is a story of survival, ingenuity, and resilience, one that unfolds each year in forests, mountains, and tundra across the northern hemisphere. The next time you imagine a bear sleeping away the winter, remember the extraordinary processes at work within its den. From delayed implantation and the birth of cubs to protein recycling and the careful rationing of energy, bears exemplify the wonders of nature's adaptability. They are not merely sleeping, they are engaging in one of the most complex and awe-inspiring survival strategies in the animal kingdom, emerging each spring as a testament to the power of preparation, patience, and the enduring will to survive.